as you can see, I've already done my face, I've done my hair. Well, comb hair, it air dries. I did do film the look that I'm wearing, but it just didn't feel right. I got up when I got up this morning, I just didn't feel all that crash hot. Jeff said go back to bed, and I went, no, I've washed my hair. You know that feeling, you just wash your hair and you can't go back to bed because it'll mess up your hair. So I thought, oh well, I'll have a cup of tea. I'll take my glasses off because it's reflecting. I'll have a cup of tea and see how I go. It was it ginger, turmeric, and something else I can't remember. There was that is a good herb. I can't remember. It's like one of those three children, you know. I don't know, and I don't know was me, and I didn't do it. Now, before I get too far in, I will connect up my microphone, and hopefully it won't interfere. So it's all done, all clipped up, shirts all, nah, doesn't matter. It happens when I do my face. Somehow or other I end up getting makeup on mine. So I got hair, makeup on my shirt. So today I thought, after I filmed the other one and started editing, and went, no, don't like it. Didn't really like the first look. This is an adjusted look. No, it just didn't feel right. So it's not what I planned to film. Wasn't just doing a look. It was another talk with me or get to know me or something. So sit back and listen to my tale. Not a dog tale, but it was a tale that took a very long time. And that was the birth of my daughter. Now, as you would have found out in my, and if you know me, in my Get to Know Me 50 Questions video, Erica was born with cerebral palsy. And if you know me, you also know she was born at 27 weeks. She was, if I can find it, I will add the photo to the video. If I can't find it, you won't see it. But when she was born, we'll start off. When I fell pregnant with Erica, I was so thrilled to bits. And Colin, I mean, you know, he's there too, but we're talking about Erica this time. I was thrilled to bits. I was so excited because I was having, Erica would be a part of me and a part of the man that I love. So that was nowhere could anyone have that same combination of Jeffrey and myself. So I was so excited. I was still working at the time. One day I was at work, I was 27 weeks then, went to the toilet, came out and said to the receptionist, who also happened to be pregnant, call an ambulance. She said, are you all right? I said, no. I started hemorrhaging. So they laid me down, took me into one of the offices and laid me down, not in my office though, they laid me down in somebody else's office, and they kept coming back to check on me. The ambulance, because the office we were in was in a new area, the ambulance didn't know where to go, so the poor receptionist was on the phone directing them how to get there. They finally got there and took me to hospital. I was transferred from one hospital to the hospital that Erica was born in, and what they were doing. So they were keeping a check on me, and then the bleeding stopped. That was fine. I woke up the next morning, had a cup of tea, and thought I'll go to the toilet. Went to the toilet and it started all over again. By this time I had a drip. So I came out and I said to I was in the ward where they put women that are having issues with having their babies. So I came out and the lady's husband was there sitting with her. When I came out, she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No." And with that, her husband flew over and caught me as I collapsed. The nurses came, she pressed her buzzer and the nurses came in. They got me back to bed. I remember them calling me. And I know my eyes were open, but I just couldn't see. They raced me down to the emergency room, and Jeffrey was there because he'd come to the hospital thinking he was coming to pick me up, because he didn't come and pick me up, did he? So he was sitting with me, and what they were doing, and this is how I learned, 1 ml is 1 gram. So what they were doing is, as I was hemorrhaging, they were weighing the blood that I'd lost, and I lost 1100 mils. So that's 1.1 litres of blood. And at one stage there I said, "I feel like I'm going to throw up." And the doctor said to Jeff, "Well, there's a kidney dish there, you hold the dish for her." And I remember him saying to me, "Don't you throw up. If you throw up, I will throw up." I didn't throw up, but not because he said so, just the nausea went away. But when the blood loss got to 1100 mils, the doctor said, "No, we're going to have to do an emergency caesarean." So they got the paperwork and came in. I don't remember signing it. Well, yes, I do remember signing it, but I'm sure my signature didn't look anything like my signature. So that was all right. They raced me off because Erica's heart rate dropped, and that's why they raced me off. So as soon as her heart rate dropped, they raced me off to the operating theatre and did the caesarean. In the meantime, my brother Kelvin was living with Jeff and I, and he came in. Now we're talking, this is Anzac Day. It's a public holiday. So he said he couldn't stand sitting at home not knowing, so he thought he would come in too. So the two of them are sitting watching, I believe it was cricket. And they were watching cricket. Then after, I believe it was about 2 hours, they brought me in to see Erica, who was in the neonatal intensive care. She was 2 pounds 3 when she was born. She had no fat on her at all. And I know what she'll look like when she's old, because she had no fat. She was all wrinkled. Now, Jeffrey saw them, or Jeffrey and Kelvin, saw them wheel Erica into the neonatal intensive care. They knew it was Erica, but they weren't allowed to see her until I came out of recovery. So eventually Jeffrey and I were allowed in, and we were given a photograph. Now they back in the day, we're talking 31 years ago, they used to take a Polaroid photo of the baby as soon as it came in, before they hooked up all the wires and the tubes and everything else. And they handed me the photograph, and at that stage she didn't have a name, she was just baby. And it was my maiden name that they used, which is Willis, so she was baby Willis. And the weight, which was 2 pounds 3. So Jeffrey and I went in, but Kelvin wasn't allowed. And for the next 12 weeks, we went to the hospital. Now, I couldn't handle, I went back to work a week after, but I just couldn't handle the stress of my job and worrying about Erica. So both Jeffrey and Kelvin said, quit. So I did. But I didn't think Jeffrey and I would be able to have a relationship outside the hospital, because we spent a lot of time at the hospital just sitting. Those days we weren't allowed to nurse them until they were out of danger. So we did just go there and sit and watch her. And one of the things that she did was she opened her eyes at one stage and she just stared at me. And I went, oops, this is my fault. And that's how I felt. Then, of course, they did the scans and discovered that there was a damage to her brain. They didn't know at that stage what would be affected, whether it was major motor skills or minor motor skills. And it turned out that it was, when she was 2, I took her to have her immunisation needles because she hadn't done anything. So I took her to have her immunisation needles, and the doctor sent us to a paediatrician, and the paediatrician told us that she had cerebral palsy. And the best thing that he could have done at that stage was to say, well, okay, she's got that, now you need to contact, it was the spastic centre back then. Spastic is now not a very nice word, apparently. So we were so busy, and we left the specialist, and I had to get her some nappies. So I went to the chemist to get her some nappies, and they were talking about babies. And they were talking about premature babies. And I said that Erica was born premature at 27 weeks, and they said, oh, is she all right? And I said, no, she's got cerebral palsy. And with that, I ran out of the shop. They must have felt really bad, but that was the first of starting to realise that, okay, so she's got this, we can't fix it, but what can we do to make it better? She won't get out of it, grow out of it. It won't go away. It's not like it's a sickness. We've got to do something to fix it. And to this day, I am still grateful for the paediatrician for giving us so many things to organise. So that was the story of Erica. She was in hospital for 12 weeks. And when we brought her home, she weighed 4 pounds. So she was still small, but I've since been told that had she been born full term, she would have been quite a big baby. But no, we just did what we have to do, and that's what you have to do. When you're faced with challenges, you have to accept that the inevitable is you are unable to cure it, you are unable to fix it, so what have we got to do? But you've got to go through the stages, like being angry at myself because I was the one carrying, oh sorry, I just whacked my microphone. I was the one carrying her, so therefore it's my fault. We now tell her it's because she couldn't wait. And on the other hand, Colin didn't want to be born. But that's the story of one of the biggest influences in my life. Now, also too, I will show you, I will put up photos of me through the years. Now, I don't have any childhood photos for the simple reason our house burnt down when I was 12, so I lost a lot. I do have photographs of me when I was 20 and 20 to 30. No, 33. I met Jeff when I was 33. 33, I never liked my photo being taken because I didn't think I was good looking enough. So you'll see the changes in me, especially my teeth. Now, I rarely smile, a big smile with using my teeth because they embarrass me. I used to have very good teeth, and now of course I've got more gaps than a paling fence. But anyway, I will do all of that, and I will talk to you again. If you like the makeup look, I'll have it all linked below. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening.